very angry today, more than normal.
I was going to say, isn't that every day? He has a whole segment circled around his anger.
1 hour, 15 minutes from now. But to a point that CeCe in the break literally had to yell at him to calm him down. Like, Pat, just calm down. What are you so angry about? It's 6:31 a.m. Eastern time. We just started the show. We're a half hour in. We're having fun. We're doing good stuff. What are you so mad about?
He's so angry that he left.
Oh, my God.
He didn't say if he was coming back.
Take a walk.
I don't think anything gets Pat Costello fired up like talking about Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I think that's what it was.
That is
I thought the baseball thing got him annoyed, too.
Well, he was annoyed by the baseball thing, but the Tomlin of it all runs him hot. That's like the red button that you push when you want to get Pat to go off. Talk about Mike Tomlin, talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Like, he literally was going to walk out the room, and we started talking about the Steelers, and he walked back in the room just to be involved in that conversation, just so he can be angry about it.
All right, what are you really annoyed by, Pat? What's really bothering you this morning?
Nuno and you guys.
Well, yeah, thanks. Okay.
You're
Not
welcome.
Javonte.
All right, what's new?
Never Javonte.
Javonte just skating by right there.
No, it's 'cause-
laughing for free.
Because we give Mike Tomlin such a pass.
Oh, it is Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, we give, well, the baseball thing too, but we were talking about Mike Tomlin. We give him such a pass for no reason. He's been unsuccessful for almost a decade, but because he like goes 8-8 or 8-9 or 9-8, like we give him this pass consistently, and I don't understand it.
I don't think we give him a pass.
I think it'll lead into what we're doing here.
Okay, I'm just saying, we talk about Mike Tomlin, and everybody criticizes him. Anytime people talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, it happens all the time.
Okay,
he doesn't get a pass.
I think this will fit perfectly into what we're doing. All right, so we're talking about the QB carousel. Everyone is dying to know what's going to happen with Rodgers, what's going to happen with Russ. These teams that are traditional, like big-time teams, like the Steelers and the Giants and the Vikings have been really good. Like, what are they doing at the quarterback position? And we're going to talk about the best possible outcome. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Best possible outcome. I'm going to give you the player or team. We're going to discuss the best possible outcome. Small, I'll start with you. What's the best possible outcome for Aaron Rodgers?
He lands with the Minnesota Vikings. It's the best football situation for him. It's a chance for him to have some success, which he didn't have during his New York Jets tenure, and change the way that we talk about his football career as a whole.
CeCe.
Retirement.
Oh.
I think he's done. I've seen the way this thing has trended over the last 3 years. The last season in Green Bay, of course, the injured first season with the Jets, and then this past year where the Jets went 5-12 with him starting all 17 games. The Jets actually had a better record in the season that he did play than the season that he didn't play versus the season that he did. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is the same player anymore, and changing the environment is only going to highlight that he is past his prime. He's past his playing days where he can actually make an impact on a team winning. It becomes clear and obvious if he goes to Minnesota and he embarrasses himself on the way to tanking whatever potential that team had the next couple of seasons to compete for a championship.
What a nightmare that would be.
I just switched mine. I had Minnesota initially, and I think you made a good argument, Smalls, but now I'm switching it, actually. Rodgers to Pittsburgh, and here's why. Best possible outcome for Rodgers is to prove that he can be coached and he can assimilate to a full roster and not have to be the focal point at all times. Leave us with the lasting memory of, I'm one of the guys. I'm not only the guy. You're shaking your head because you know it's impossible, but I'm saying...
No, because if he went to Minnesota and had the season that Sam Darnold did last year, if he went to Minnesota and won 14 games, we wouldn't care if he went to Egypt or not. We would be talking about how he changed the narrative, how he still had something left in the tank. Winning is the best deodorant.
Right. Yeah, and the Jets situation just fades into the abyss.
It's a Jets thing more than a Rodgers thing.
It is. But if he goes to Minnesota or if he goes to Pittsburgh and stinks up the joint, then all of a sudden it's not a Jets thing. It's a him thing.
Both of those places, if you can't have success there, that's a problem.
And it's not fair because the number of years is way greater, but we'll say 2 stops bad, 1 stop good. Or great, iconic, right? 2, like Jets and +1. Not good. 2
bad stops, 1 Hall of Fame stop.
Right. Better way of saying it. Thank you. Best possible outcome. Russell Wilson, Smalls.
I think Russ to the Browns makes a lot of sense, mainly because he provides an upgrade for them at the position they had last year. He didn't really turn the ball over last year. He only had 5 interceptions, which obviously was a huge problem for Jameis Winston and the Cleveland Browns. And you know that Russ has a finite amount of time left in his football career. So if you did want to draft a quarterback, he could be a good transitional asset for you there. And I think he would play, and it would be a good spot for him.
Yeah, I think it's the Cleveland Browns, too, with the caveat of them taking a pass catcher, a touchdown scorer with the second overall pick. I don't like the idea of Russ going into the season with only 2 weapons in David Njoku and Jerry Jeudy. It feels like more of the same in what he came out of with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their offensive line is solid, a lot more solid in Cleveland than Pittsburgh, but I would like to see them add another playmaker for Russ at this stage in his career because I don't think he's capable of elevating the play of everybody around him.
I think best possible outcome for Russ is going back to the Steelers. That's clearly where he wants to go, his relationship with DK Metcalf. I think that's the best possible outcome for him. Best possible outcome for the Steelers. I'll start us off. Best possible outcome for the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, is missing out on everyone. You have to learn this can't be how you're going to do it every year.
You have to tank?
No, you don't have to tank. It's Mike Tomlin can only do so much for so long to save you from yourself.
But then you're suggesting if they don't have somebody or don't get the person they want there, then they will lose games and be in a better position to draft somebody next year.
So be it.
But that's what you're saying would be the positive that comes out
Correct.
of this, right?
I think the best possible outcome for the Pittsburgh Steelers is to be left there with their pants down, basically. Like, what the hell just happened? That's a saying. I don't mean literally. I just, like, what just happened? We went all in for Aaron Rodgers. He retired or went to the Vikings. We told Russ we didn't want him, so he went to the Browns. We didn't go all in for Fields, so he went to the Jets. We didn't blow you away in L.A. with an offer for Stafford, where the Rams and Stafford had to say no. And we never really inquired to Arizona or Jacksonville with the no trade with Trevor Lawrence or any of these other teams. And we never actually put in an offer to Tennessee to get the number 1 pick. We're just going to go back with Mason Rudolph yet again, and we're going to barely have a winning record, if that. I think the best possible outcome for the Pittsburgh Steelers is to miss out on everyone and learn the lesson.
I disagree with that. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers need to get aggressive. I think they need to trade for a quarterback and draft a quarterback. Now, I don't think that they're going to be able to get somebody that is locked in as a current starter around the league. But I do think it would be fascinating if the Pittsburgh Steelers would be able to swing a trade with the New England Patriots for Joe Milton.
Oh, he's on my list.
I think that would be fascinating. And then couple that with drafting a guy with one of your top 2 picks this NFL draft. So I don't know if that puts you in the Jackson Dart territory or Jalen Milroe, who I actually love for them. But I would go along with that. So I would trade for another veteran quarterback. I would draft the rookie quarterback, and I'm going into the season with an open competition between Mason Rudolph, a guy that's already started a playoff game for me in the last couple of years. I'm going with 2 other guys that have a higher ceiling in Joe Milton and whoever I end up drafting in late April. And that's where I'm going to try to find my future franchise quarterback. Without mortgaging the farm, that could be the approach that I go with. It feels very Steelers-esque. I think they're just waiting to see exactly what happens with the veteran quarterback options, namely Aaron Rodgers, before they go down that path.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that they need to look squarely in the draft because what they're doing right now and all of these players, these veteran guys that we can assign to them, it's the same ride they've been on for the past couple of years.
Doubt.
And they need to hit the emergency brake. Whether it's Russ or Aaron Rodgers, whomever it may be that's out there, these veteran guys, it's the same process that they've been going through year after year, and it hasn't been successful for them, or at least successful to the level that they need it to be successful. So they need to turn the page. They need to find their future quarterback. But I'm a little surprised. I thought you were going to say that they should go for Brock Purdy. I thought that was going to be
I said if they're not going to go for a start, well, I guess no. I said on the why the wait. Like, take a swing. They're proven, as CeCe said, they're not willing to do that. I agree. They should have gone for Brock Purdy already, and they're not going
that's
to.
Where you're gonna go.
Yeah, they're not going to. All right, quickly. We have 3 more very quickly. Quick hits. Giants, I put Joe Milton as my what's the best possible outcome. What do you have to lose? Make a trade with the Pats. Go get Joe Milton. CeCe.
Arch Manning 2026.
Jameis Winston, that gets you to Arch Manning in 2026.
Minnesota Vikings. I actually think their best possible outcome is Kirk Cousins as a backup.
J.J. McCarthy as your starter.
J.J. McCarthy being healthy and being the guy.
I'm with you, but specific with Cousins as a backup. Browns, I think their best possible outcome is actually Russell Wilson.
I do
Agreed.
too.
There you go. Best possible outcome for all of the people involved. Coming up, we got CeCe's power rankings around the NCAA tournament, men's and women's. Next, we're on Sportsmanlike, presented by...
Chào cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Vòng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là quả nhót. Mọi người, hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là chôm chôm. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nhá. tím nha. Đây là màu tím. Tiếp đến sẽ là màu cam. Đây là màu cam của mình. Màu cam của mình này. Tiếp đến sẽ là màu xanh dương. Tối qua bố em sinh nhật.